recovery plan, internal progress. I'm just keeping an eye on the time because I'm going to have to go at 11:30. So there might be things that we might have to juggle the order on in order to. And also the approval to sign the Rockerfeller Foundation 100 Resilient Cities Initiative. Yep, so we'll come back to this. All right, so if we just do the approval to sign the Rockerfeller Foundation 100 Resilient Cities first, I'm sorry guys, that's not you. I don't know whether you want to join us at the table, Di, just in case there are questions. Should I be moving a motion about me signing a document, or? Okay, I'd like to move that I be given the authority to sign. That's a perfectly appropriate resolution for me to move, is it? For me to sign the Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, Jamie Goff seconded. Are there any questions for Di? Any discussion? Yanni?
Thank you. I think that this is really, really great to see that we are looking at participating in the Resilient Cities Foundation network. Can I just make two very brief points? One is that the former council did a review of our international relations, and part of that highlighted the need for us to be much more proactive post-disaster in the international sphere of what happens in other places around the world, to both share the knowledge that we've learnt, but also to learn from what happens, and to reciprocate the generosity and goodwill that we got from others at the time of our need to others when they have their time of need. With that being said, I have asked the Acting Chief Executive to make contact with the appropriate people in regards to the event that happened in Chile, and my understanding is that we have we are working through offering any support or assistance that we can through the appropriate channels as a city to recognise what they're going through with the massive earthquake they had. So just thought I'd place that on record. I don't know if the Acting Chief Executive wishes to add any further to that, but I do think it's important to reflect on we have to not just sign these agreements, but we actually have to give meaningful effect to them by demonstrating through our behaviour that we are prepared to work collaboratively and provide support where it's needed. Yeah,
I was hoping that actually as Mayor that I would be writing to the city's Mayor, the most affected area, just to, express, solidarity in their time of need. So we got so much support, as a city that it is appropriate that we take steps to support others and also make those offers. Just on the learnings though, I think that we have to be really open and upfront about some of the learnings. So I'll be bringing back some suggestions later in the year about how we as a council might reflect on what's happened and the number of reviews, and actually start to draw those together, because I think we probably as a council need to do a slightly better job of reviewing how our response and recovery was, and in a full and frank way, because if we are going to learn the lessons, that was very much the feedback that I got when I met with the families of those who died, that they really, really, really want the truth and the lessons to be a part of the legacy that that loss of life represents, and to provide some meaning for our city out of the tremendous sense of loss. So I'll put the motion.
I hadn't realised until Di did a presentation the other week that you had actually been involved in this pre your election as Mayor, and just quite how persistent that you've been on it, which I think is stunning. So I'm delighted that this is now happening, and I think your leadership on it has been excellent. I think it becomes incredibly important when we look at the fact that so much of the world now lives in cities, and that actually the concept of governance will change quite dramatically in the next 2 decades, from governmental control to cities taking control of the world and leading what the world does. So I think cities acting collectively is actually incredibly sensible. In terms of the lessons that we can each learn and apply to each other, obviously natural disasters will be with everybody always, but we have now got a series of man-made disasters through climate change that will affect practically every city in the world. So we will see increased bushfires in Australia, we will see increased flooding events, we will see increased extreme weather events, and we know that that is going to happen. The report of the IPCC this week, made that incredibly clear. And so the whole issue of how cities survive when we have done, when we live in a time of rapid climate change as well, becomes incredibly important. So the sharing of lessons and the practical steps of how you develop communities that can actually deal with that and live well in that is really important. So I'm very happy to support this.
Excellent. I'll put the motion. All those in favour say aye. Those opposed say no. That's carried. Thank you. And now we'll deal with item number 11.